Alright guys, it is the day before the crank on this Chrysler over here, and as expected I ran into a couple snafus, so I'll describe those to you as a prelude to the starting the car video. But anyway, just real quick, everything's been put back together pretty good as far as just tying up loose ends and running some line for the fuel supply and putting coolant in the battery and fluids and the power steering and oil and transmission fluid and all that, except when I got to putting coolant in it. I got about 1.25 gallons in, and then it started running out over here out of the head. And what it is, there's a bolt missing right there. I knew it was missing, and I neglected to fix that right was out of the car. I should have, but I'm paying stupid tax now, so I'm gonna have to go back in there and put. It's supposed to have a stud in it, I believe, just like the rest of them. So it's missing, and there was a bolt in it before. So anyway, I'm gonna have to resolve that issue, and then the other issue, you see all these wires back here, these test leads and stuff, is that it won't crank with a key. With the battery hooked up, the battery's topped up and everything, it won't do anything, and the relay just clicks. I'll demonstrate that for you. You like my sign here? That was from Howard. Howard said don't grab the steering wheel when you try to get the engine running. It's got a oil light, got a coal light over here, but nothing. So anyway, I tested that, and these starter relays they're pretty simple. They have, I'll take those connections off there for you, but I'll unhook the battery if you're curious. But anyway, they don't have that many connections. They've got a positive that one side comes from the battery and one side comes from the comes from the car, so that's the supply to the car, just crosses right there. And then this connection down here that bolts on, this gray wire, goes over there, goes into the battery cable, and it goes down. That's what triggers the solenoid. And then under it, it's got another connector here that goes on, which is just kind of laying loose. That is the wire that goes down to the neutral safety switch, or in this case, that's correct, neutral safety switch. And so that's basically a ground. So if that's not connected, that bottom one I'm just showing you on the bottom is not connected right there, or the wire is not connected at the transmission's, whatever, that circuit's not complete, then this relay will not provide power out to the solenoid. It will just do exactly what you saw. So that's what I was doing. I was grounding that just to make sure that, you know, I wasn't getting a false issue with the relay. This is called the relay. This is not the solenoid. The solenoid's on the starter. Anyway, that's that, and I guess I'm just going to put another relay on it because I've got several. So I fault isolated it just to make sure that it was not putting power out to the solenoid here. It was not. But when I took my remote starter switch and hooked between this positive and the trigger for the solenoid, it worked. Starter spun. So that tells me all I need to know about that. So I'm going to put another relay on it. Go from there. I got one there. I got one on that green car. I might have one laying around loose. And that's not a real big deal because this guy over here has been running his harvester all day, making noise. And he only does a couple times a year. That's all. He runs a tractor in the spring to plant, and then, you know, any of you guys live out Midwest, you know about that. So he's harvesting his, I don't know if he's got soybeans back here or what he's got. I know he's got cotton down the road down there, but anyway, that was going on all day. So it's kind of making some background noise, and the wind was blowing. So now when I get to this, I'm running out of daylight. He's going to pull in probably, and the wind stops blowing. Damn it. That's okay. That's how it goes. You know, just when you're trying to get stuff together, you just have to deal with these little issues. This car's been sitting dormant for a long time. So, you know, the guy, like I said, the guy left the hood off of it, so the water may have got into that. Water may have got into that relay and just rusted it inside. And like I said, it's a little bit of a disappointment. It's the date-coded relay that goes to this car, but there again, it's stuck in the corner, and nobody, and I mean nobody, is ever going to realize that's not the original relay on it. And if they did, they probably wouldn't care. So, and I went down and got another one of my Blim batteries from Interstate. You can get these for 50 bucks. And I know this is a different one from the one I've been getting. I've been getting, which I don't have a choice in the matter as long as I get the right, you know, I want a Group 24. But normally I get a one of the black one that's got the raised caps on it. And I guess that's their cheaper line, the Econo Power. But this one turned out to actually be an Interstate Megatron 2, which is, I guess, their more high-end battery. And they're not cheap. I mean, they're about $100 or so, $110, something like that, $115, in that range for just a standard one. So if you take a Blim that's something's, you know, can't be sold as a new one, then you get it for 50 bucks with your core. So that works for me, and this actually works pretty good because that it is a 24, which is good, and then that's what I needed. And I was looking for a battery with a flat top on it like this. This is actually not a maintenance free, but it's got these flush mounted caps on it, which is excellent because I think I'm going, if I got enough hood clearance, please leave me alone. Good grief. If I got enough hood clearance, then I think I'm going to buy one of those battery toppers. If I can resolve the answer, age-old answer, does it take green caps, does it take yellow caps, does it take red caps? Does anybody know? Does anybody know for sure? Well, those suckers are on the march. So anyway, if I do that, I'll just take this battery back out and I will paint this case black, and it will not be exactly what was in here originally as far as looks. But there again, it's either buy one of those reproduction batteries, the entire thing, which they said they're junk, or do what I just told you. So we'll see. Just like I said, the hood clearance is going to be the main thing on it. So that worked out good. And I got my test air cleaner on here because I like to use this air cleaner because that way I'm just really not a big fan of backfires blowing out in my face or whatever. And you know, if you spill some gas, I just don't like that. I'm a little bit paranoid about it. So this thing did not fit because this carburetor is the old style AFB that's got the 4-inch throat, the 4-inch flange mount on it. It's a small one. It's called the small AFB. At least I call it the small AFB. And this air cleaner fits the 5 1/4 or whatever it is, all the later ones like a Holly and an Elderbrock and Quadrajet and all that. So standard. So anyway, I had to make a little adapter, and all I did with it was, I just don't even know if you can see it. I got some heater hose and split it, and then I made that on there, and then I got a little piece of vacuum line and went around below that, so it's got two different layers. But that's another story in itself. The air filter for this car, I got my air cleaner over here. The air filter for it is on its way from somewhere out of town because somebody had the wrong one in a box in the trunk. That number, I can guarantee they went to O'Reilly to get that filter because O'Reilly carries Wix, and that's the number that Wix tells goes on it. I can tell you for a fact that is not the correct number. And the correct number is 42043, so I wish somebody would contact O'Reilly and tell them to straighten that out. So I ordered the right one for it, and we'll get that on there. I don't like running the engine without an air cleaner anyway. So, and you see those bugs out there, those stupid stink bugs, those suckers try to get in everywhere they can. So they will, they'll get down in the carburetor if possible. And what else is new? So, all right guys, I'm just kind of rambling. Yep, see, he's turned his tractor off. I know what you're gonna say. Well, you complained about the dogs, and you complained about the residents, you complained about the traffic. So what's now? Are you getting bored? You gonna complain about the tractor? No, I don't mind the tractor at all. That'll be it. So, in other news, and you're probably gonna see this video after I get this car started, because, well, maybe not. Maybe I'll just think about it. I might just put it up beforehand, you know, the teaser. But in other news, boy, that's a tall antenna, isn't it? Wow, it's pretty impressive. In other news, I sold a couple pieces of lawn equipment. I had that Honda mower that I bought a couple years ago, and just used it off and on, and I sold it, got $65 for it, and then I sold that gas-powered edger that I bought about a year ago, I guess it was, and sold it for 40, 45, something like that. And so I got me a little bit of, I'm working on some welder money, which now I have the money for a welder, but I have plenty of means for that. But I don't like to spend out of my savings all that much money at one time, so I like to try to sell things and get my fund money together, keep it balanced out. So we're on our way to that. So next up, I think I got every last little bit off this poor old Fury that I'm gonna need to have off of it. So I'm gonna advertise it again. I've had it advertised, but it ain't moving for what I'm asking for it. This is gonna be another one of those things. It's just gonna basically be go away for scrap money, I guess. I hate that. You know, guys, I mean, if any way that I thought that it was in me to fix this car up, I would keep it and do it, but you know, it's just, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to give it away. If it comes down to it, I'll just cover it up and keep it, and that's it, and see what happens down the road. But so I'm going to run this thing hopefully down the road to somebody new, and then the next thing I do, I think I'm going to just go ahead and jump on and get this one running and moving around and everything. I think I'm going to go ahead and jump on that Plymouth there and finish parting it out, get the motor and transmission out of it, and pull the windshield for this other car and whatever else little things. And one of you YouTubers, you've contacted me about this rear end, so if you want it, you need to come on and get it, because this thing's gonna be going away, and it's not a mean thing on my part. Don't take it that way, but I can't sit on a sale for ever and ever and ever. I mean, it wasn't much money, so I understand that the YouTuber that wants this has had some severe personal issues, and I understand that, but I would like to go ahead and see this go away pretty soon, like within the next couple weeks. So let's go ahead and try to do that, and then it'll be ready to go to the great cruncher in the sky. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and put this car up for sale. I've mentioned that. Somebody asked me, they said they didn't hear me clearly, but I think this car is going to go on for sale. It's just a little extra. It was going to be my daily driver before I got the Toyota, and I just don't have a use for this car anymore. It's not a very exciting car to drive. It's a good car. If anybody's interested in it, just give me a shout. Let me know somehow that you want to. Just leave it in the comments, or if you go back to those parts sale videos I did, I've put my email on there so you can contact me about it. I think I'm going to ask about $2,500 OBO on it. That's probably about what I can get at the most. It's real clean, runs pretty good, drives pretty good. It's got new tires, new brakes. Put a lot of work in it. It's got nice clean interiors, 99,000 miles on it, so it doesn't need much. And then we're going to move on. We're going to work on the Chrysler as we want to over the winter, and the Valiant. This one I've actually ordered a whole slew of parts for, because it's up next. That's what I'm gonna drive it over the winter, just as my winter driver, and it's running good. But I'm going to go ahead and put on that Super 6 intake and an exhaust system on this car, because it was not because I couldn't sell that thing, but I couldn't sell it for what I wanted to get out of it, what it was really worth. And I turned out to need it for this one, because the exhaust manifold flange on this exhaust manifold is bent, so it leaks exhaust, and that's not good. So do that, and we're going to go all the way through the brakes, front to rear, and we're going to tidy up the exhaust system on it and tidy up some stuff in the interior. We're going to get that windshield swapped out because it's real cloudy. From inside of it, you can't hardly see out of it. See that? I can detest that. So anyway, I've saved some, like I said, saved some parts off that other car. They saved the mat out of it and all that. So this mat's kind of trashed, and you can see the ground down there. This thing's got some holy floor pans in, I guess, from all the leaking. I think we're going to kind of get into a little bit of, I'm anticipating more of an involved thing about this windshield, so I'm going to strategize about that. I'm going to plan to have this thing, welding equipment on hand and this thing in the garage for the duration of that, because I think when I pull this windshield out, the leak is going to be because it has rotted under the windshield gasket. Right about right here, when you start seeing things like that. And it doesn't look too bad over there, but I'm guarantee you we're probably going to have, definitely get water. We get water on the inside of this thing when it rains, so that's that. And then the back one's going the same way, if not worse. So anyway, but that's one of those things, you know, you don't have to make the mistake of saying, oh, I've got to take this thing all apart and fix all of it at one time. Nope, you can just fix part of it and keep driving it, and then when you're ready to do some more, you just come back and you do some more. You just enjoy it. And I'm going to go ahead and the wheel covers for this thing, the 14-inch wheel covers that came on a 68, they are pretty cheap for a set of them, so I'm going to go ahead and get a good set of clean wheel covers for this. I'm not going to run these dog dishes because they're not in my taste on this car. And so that's that, guys. All right, a little bit of rambling, a little bit of telling you what's going on. So I noticed that I've done these episodes on this Chrysler that my views, the longer and more we did, the more they kind of just tapered down. So I know everybody's getting bored with this, and I understand that because I'm getting bored with it. But I wanted to stay on this thing and just persevere and get through it and do it, because, you know, I've had a bad history in the past of starting things and not finishing them, and this, I was determined I was going to draw out of myself and summon out of myself every bit of stick-to-itiveness that I could possibly have on this, and I've done it. I started in July and it was 90-something degrees, and now here we are in mid-October and it's about 65 degrees and going down. So next thing, after we get it running, we got to work on the brakes a little bit. I've got some brakes on it a little bit now, but the bleeders didn't want to come out on the wheel cylinders. One of them was in there crooked, looked like, and we're going to deal with that, and then we're going to put tires on it. These are H78 14s, not 15s. H78 14s, that it's equivalent to 225 75 14. You can't hardly find that size anymore, of course. So I'm going to go with a 215 75 14. You can get them in a set of Hankooks. All right, I hear the train coming, guys, so it's going to be time to shut her down. So next up, we're going to crank her.